Yeah, it's, no, but it's like it's practice.
Yeah.
So,
Keep going.
yeah.
Repeat and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way to do it.
36, 67, 93, 142, 142, 483, then 1,783,000,000, 2,783,000,000, 3,680,000,000, 680 million. But I just remember those numbers like that, so I could do it. Because another God was teaching me another way how to memorize it too. My very educated mother just showed us 9 planets. But I was like, nah, I'd rather just like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Jupiter, Mars and Jupiter. I prefer to get it like that. But like you said, just practice, you know what I'm saying? So you get it. And after Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, that's it. But the way that you know when you know it, like, you know what I'm saying, when they ask you the degree skip, that's when you know you got it, like, real good, you know what I'm saying, because, like, you know, just like in any lesson, you know, like when they ask you, like in the alphabet, you know what I'm saying, what's the born degree, what's the knowledge born degree, what's the wisdom equality degree, what's the equality degree, or like that, and when you get it, when you get to be able to answer it like that, yeah, that's when you know you got it. Just yeah, man. God's in the penal system. That's how they do it, God. That's how they do it, man. And it really be because, you know what I'm saying, a lot of guys was coming in the name, like, you know, slacking and, you know, using it for protection, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And don't say you God and don't know your lesson, you know what I'm saying? And don't even, I laugh because it's funny because, you know what I'm saying?
That's just what we serve, man.
No, not just that, man, you know what I'm saying? Even if you had one gold teeth, you had to be official to have that there, man. Even a little chain, you know what I'm saying? Because dudes was fighting even for their nylon drawers, man. You know, for their sneakers. And you surrounded a whole bunch of savages, man, you know what I'm saying? I went through bad experiences there, man, you know. Even with some guard bodies too, you know what I'm saying? You can't, everybody that come in the name is not your brother there neither, you know?
Alright, so we got a little people coming in the room right now. So first of all, let's give a shout out to Sunez. Sunez had a little family emergency, so he wasn't able to come through today. It just happened that I was in the pocket when that phone call came through, so I decided to add on with the guy for the day's class right here. You know what I'm saying? See Justice got a lot of peace to the God. See Justice is new. Where you from, See Justice? But yeah, shout out to the guy, man. Hopefully that's something that he can resolve in the next couple minutes, and tomorrow be a new day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm new to this class right now, so of course I'm gonna ask you, yeah, what's your name right now?
Peace. Self-magnetic.
Self-magnetic.
Peace.
Where you from?
From the desert oasis, God.
All right, that's peace. What part of the desert?
Story.
All right, we got Justice in here. Yeah, I got some. I should be around Astoria, around. Well, I used to be. That's really like I think Corona or Elmhurst.
Which part?
Like by Junction Boulevard in Astoria.
Yeah.
I used to be around there, actually a lot. I was building with the brothers from over there that I know from over there not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? Queen Understanding Naima Mecca Shakur, peace.
Shout out to thumbs up to Sunez. They got me reading all kinds of books. You know, Sunez, I don't really
peace,
like.
black man.
Peace. I don't really like to read a lot, God, but you know what I'm saying? You got me into this because I don't like when the books drag. But next week when you come through, God, I'll show you this book too. This book that you told me to look into.
Yeah. So, Queen Understanding Naima, you knew where you from? See, Justice God Allah say he's from Now C. That's peace. What part of Now C? We got Justice in here, and we got State of the Art. Hopefully you learn how to listen. He said, Justice asked, what's the name of the other book?
One is Message to the Black Man in America by Elijah, and the other one is Puerto Rican History Within the World's History.
Puerto Rican History Within the World's History by what author?
Jose Morales' daughter.
Jose Morales' daughter is the author, Puerto Rican History Within World History. Queen Naima is from Divine C. C. Justice is half an hour from Raleigh. All right. Because, you know, we get people that need to come in contact with gods and earths in their area. So that's why we always find out where everybody is from. Law World Manifest better be hitting that like button. You know, I don't get too much into all that stuff. I don't really know how to work it. But I think I got like 600 subscribers now. So shout out to my 600 subscribers that's checking out the knowledge itself. Peace to y'all. So what degrees you knowledge magnetic?
I'm dealing with 136.
136. What degree?
The beginning job.
You just started? All right. So how you see today's degree in 1 to 10?
Today's degree in 1 to 10. Which who was the colored man? The colored man is the Caucasian man. The Caucasian man, Yaku's back to that planet Earth.
The Caucasian or white man?
Yeah, the white man. Because it was in parentheses, I don't know what to quote that.
Right, yeah, you gotta quote it.
Okay.
See, one thing that's significant about that, right, is he's not referred to white as white again no more in the rest of the lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because, you know, when you're dealing with, you know, the meaning of white, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you will end up in contradiction. You know what I'm saying? Like when people say things like divine evil. See, that's in contradiction right there. You see what I mean? When
like
you trying to, right. You see what I mean? Because you can't be divine and evil at the same time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, specifically right there is telling you that, okay, yeah, this is the person that we talking about, the way they've been, you know what I mean? You gotta remember this is 31 when the 1 to 10 is being written. So at that time, the original man is being referred to as the colored man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you go according to the theory of evolution, right? The original man is not the pinnacle. The last man is the pinnacle because he's the product of evolution. You know what I'm saying? And in evolution, you're supposed to be evolving to a higher level. You know what I mean? According to their theory of evolution, you know, life was started, you know, in Africa, and then they migrated up into Europe and developed into the most sophisticated kind of man.
According to that theory.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's why it's important right there to know that that's who he's talking about. See what I'm saying? Even when, you know, when you look at the degree, right, you know, who is the colored man, right? And then it gives you really right there is two descriptions. You understand what I'm saying? The colored man is a Caucasian white man, or Yakub's grabbed the devil of the planet Earth, right? See, when you say colored, right, that just means other than the original form that it was in. You understand what I'm saying? When you say Caucasian, right, that's a specific set of people with a specific set of characteristics. You understand what I'm saying? See, anybody can be colored. In that particular instance of that degree, that's why you said, like, look, some brothers don't got the parentheses, it says or white man. You see what I'm saying? Because something had to happen mentally, right? Before all those characteristics manifested in them physically. You know, not just the physical characteristics of being white, but I'm saying the things that they manifest through their mindset. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because when you're dealing with the seeds, right, you got black, brown, yellow, white, half original, and red, right? So when you're dealing with the process of 600 years, right, you got 200 years from black to brown, 200 years from brown to yellow, and 200 years from yellow to white, right? So that's 600 years. Now, you got 200 years from white to half original, 200 years from half original to red, and then 200 years from red to back to original, right? But we know that if right now, because see, you can't graft white people back just with white people, because they don't have a yellow germ or a brown germ or a black germ. In order to do that, you have to waste your time, right, by you being the original man and going and reproducing with a Caucasian.
Where the Red Sea come from?
The red seed, the half original, is if you mix black with white. If you mix a half original with anything, you get a red seed. You understand what I'm saying? So if you mix it with an original seed, then you come closer back to the original. But they could also be mixed with a white seed.
And go back.
Going back that way, exactly. See, because that's why it's the determined idea. That's why the first thing it tells you about Yakub is what was his idea. Like, that was his whole idea. I mean, like, right now, you pick whatever woman you pick, right? And then your babies, they're going to come out, some of them's going to be lighter than you, some of them's going to be darker than you. That's not grafting, because that's not the idea which y'all started from. The idea which y'all started from is, you know, y'all didn't start with the highest elevation of understanding, which is love, but I'm saying that's what y'all was building. You understand what I'm saying? As opposed to Yakub, he set out already because he knew that, you know, when it's saying that he's 6 years old, it's telling you from a very young age, as well as in the degrees when you get to the wisdom culture degree, right? Was born 6, like you say, he's 6 years old. He was born with the determined idea to do this. You understand what I mean? So that's what he set out to do, as opposed to, like I said, if you just pick a woman, right, and y'all have different genes, you know what I mean, from your history. You understand what I mean? That's why, you know, grafting in particular is killing the black. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you gotta set out to do from the beginning. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, like I said, when you're dealing with that science, right? You got people that it hasn't been 600 years, right? And they have a Caucasian in their lineage, right? So what that means is that the 600 years of grafting back into the original man is not just physically. It's something mentally that's happening in the mindset, you understand what I'm saying? That also has to happen in order for them to be grafted into the devil and in order for you to graft them back. You understand what I mean? Or even, if we teaching amongst the original people, that's got to be something that already exists in them mentally. You see what I mean? Before a person say, they want the knowledge of self, right? That's got to be a certain amount of ideas that they've been meditating on that makes them say, okay, let me take this action or let me take that action. You see what I'm saying? So that's why in particular, it's important for you to acknowledge that, in that degree, that's who they talking about. Because see, as you go on through the degrees, right, it starts to become more distinct. You get to the knowledge degree in the 1 to 14, and it just tells you the colored man or the Caucasian man is the devil. So now you start to see that there's a little bit different things. You see what I'm saying? It has to deal with the mentality. Like for instance, when you look at the lessons, right, it tells you about 2 half original people in there, right? But both of them is not mixed physically. You see what I'm saying? Musa didn't have a white parent. You see what I'm saying?
Musa was an original man.
He was half original. You see what I mean? Because see, there was a lot of half and half about him. Meaning, look, he spent 40 years being civilized and 40 years in the wilderness. Okay. See what I'm saying? He had his Hebrew family, whatever that was about, then he had his Egyptian family. You understand what I mean? He had a lot of things that was half and half about him. He led the people, he was their leader to go to the promised land, but then whatever it was about him, he wasn't right because he never was allowed into the promised land. You understand what I'm saying? So he had a lot of half and half about him. The other person is Christopher Columbus. He didn't have a black parent. So what it's telling you about both people is that it was something mental.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? That's the important thing you got to realize, about making the devil and being the devil and who the devil is. See what I'm saying? What about you, bro? What degrees you knowledge?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Peace, I'm Wise King. I knowledge 120 back in Wisdom Cipher, Knowledge Cipher. Infinite Al-Jamar is my educator. And renewing history is just...
Who said Jamar?
Infinite Al-Jamar.
All right.
Yeah, from Medina.
Mm-hmm.
So, God, just here acknowledging, doing the knowledge, because renewing history is very important, so we don't fall into some of the traps or some of the things that happened back in the day. Like dealing with Musa, as we just finished dealing with. Musa, as you mentioned, there was a lot of half original, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you said, 40 years in the wilderness, and 40 years. So Musa was also half original in the way that he was dealing with the people, because he came to civilize, but at the same time, in the Bible, it tells you that he began to be upset, start dealing with anger, because they started worshiping the golden calf. And if you go into the history of Egypt, the golden calf is a god named, if I'm not mistaken, Het-Heru. So that's a female deity god. Right. So he's worshiping the people worshiping the golden calf. So he got up and he smashed the, he started dealing with anger, he also had to set the ring of fire around him when he was dealing with the covenant. So, you know, he was dealing with people with a civilized nature. He came to civilize them, teach them, you know, the forgotten knowledge. He came to civilize them, but then at the same time, he had to deal with people in their nature. So he was dealing with anger at times, you know, because these people were being rebellious. As the Bible tells you, the Israelites were God's chosen people, but they were rebellious people. They were all often, you know, idol worshiping and such like that. So when he saw them getting into that type of nature, when he's trying to civilize them, he started getting angry and dealing with that. So he was dealing with mixed thoughts too, which is my scene on him being like half original also, which coincides with that.
Hold on 1 second. Let me. We got smell goods over here. Divine Truth. Look, state of the art. What is this you talking about here, man? That AWM. You ain't feeling that. That's what you told us your name is. What are you talking about? You froze. So you gotta learn how to conduct yourself around civilized people. You understand what I'm saying? When you come around, you know, civilized people, you know, and you know, you come amongst them with things that you got in the wilderness. So you gotta remember that a lot of that is first. You know what I mean? When you deal with, you know, civilization, righteousness, and then the knowledge of self. So you can't just jump to the knowledge of self, or you got the knowledge, but you a savage. And think we gonna accept you the same way. You see what I mean? Because now, you know, we got to call into question how much knowledge you have of yourself. Like, see, you ever notice how at certain times, there's certain things, right, that people be doing amongst you, right? Like, look, it might be somebody that every time they come, you know, you might be doing something, and you know, you look out for everybody. But this person, they don't never deal with equality, right? Now look, you still dealing with equality with them, you just complaining about it. You know why? Because see, it's not in your nature to be stingy. You see what I'm saying? So being that it's not in your nature to be stingy, even though you tight about this thing, it's not in your nature to do certain things. You understand what I mean? See, that's why we took the skunk out the lessons. That's another reason why we not pro-black or anti-white. You see what I'm saying? Because it's really not in our nature to just be anti-something. You understand what I'm saying? Like how you said, you know, boom, when you in a, you know, you locked up or whatever, you in an environment, right, where you have to take on traits and characteristics sometimes that ain't even in your nature. You understand what I'm saying?
True.
Some people get caught up in that, and then they can't get back to who they really are. You see what I'm saying? But this is, you know, what I keep telling people that listen. You know, you go out there with the 85%, right? You supposed to take the 8 off of their 5. Don't let them put the 8 on your 5. You see what I'm saying? But that's what happened. Now a person come back, right? And they don't realize that this has happened to them. That now because because you've been in whatever environment, right? That's
You don't see that you were 85.
that you don't see that yet. You understand what I mean? And that's the way it is with a lot of things that people do. Like, you know, a person don't realize that they addicted to drugs until after they addicted. You know, very few people say, yo, you know what? This crack thing is getting too, starting to want it's too much. I think I'm gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? It don't happen like that. Yeah, it happens after you done hit rock bottom, you done been locked up and you went through all this trials and tribulation. You see what I mean? That's the beauty part about supreme mathematics. Is that, you know, with other people, right, the research, right, is not is in the experience, because you can't experience things mentally. See, when we study the lessons, right, and we study a situation that's going on, we break it down with mathematics, right? We're experiencing that cipher mentally. And then so we could look at the mistakes that was made in that degree and then don't make those mistakes. Like, see, right now we're talking about Yaqub and how he made the devil. We can analyze that and not make the devil. Now look, you can figure that out, but if it takes you 60 or 70 years, right, then how you gonna get to apply that science? And how you gonna get to teach it to other people? You see what I mean? See, supreme mathematics allows you to be able to have that level of understanding without going through the physical, age and the physical, you understand what I mean? Like, you don't have to make the devil, you see what I mean? Or even when, as you observing pieces of steel, you're not gonna come to the same conclusion that Yaqub came to because you've seen that already. You see what I'm saying? We got Queen Divine Z in here. See, Queen Divine Z, I had to say, she's the first black woman that really made her. I was saying that, that was actually a joke. They were saying that I don't have no females on my page. But see, now I got Queen Divine Z, they can't tell me nothing.
Peace, I want to also add on to that, because there was this brother that once I started acknowledging the lesson, once I started coming around, because I knew this was something I always wanted, so I used to try to seek out 5%ers around my way, but I couldn't really find any. So there was this one brother that later on, once I started acknowledging the degrees, now I attribute the brother as Musa, because before, he's a part of a certain gang. But the brother must have been, one of those used to be 5%er guys that he knew the language enough. Like, he was knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and he was telling me about Yaqub, and he's the big head scientist, and I don't know anything, so I'm hearing him saying words that sound familiar, so I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I've been looking for. I finally got it. So, meanwhile, he used to come to my neighborhood in Medina because he was like their OG of like a few of my friends that was a part of that gang. So he was their OG. So he used to come by, but he used to use the truth as the magnetic to pull me in, so that this way he was trying to recruit me to be a part of that nation.
Right.
So I would always ask him things, and he would always be like, I'll get back to you on that, but you should come with me and the homies over here. And I'm like, you pull me in first with that.
Yeah, he's fishing with the mathematics.
Yeah, he pulled me in with that, and then after a while, he would always repeat the same verbiage though. It would always be, the original man is God, color man is the devil, and he would just tell me certain things, I guess, to keep me within arm's reach. But then after a while, I'm like, where do the gods, is there like a place where they congregate at? Is there a place where they meet at? Like, where do they go? Is it just a thing that, you're like, you get the knowledge and then you just study on your own, and how does this thing work? So he's like, yeah, they meet up in Harlem. I'll take you. The brother would always come every day, but then he told me it was the last Sunday of the month. So he would come by every day, but always for some reason, that last Sunday of the month, he would never show up. And then he won't show up for like 2-3 days. Then when he come back, it's always an excuse. Oh, I was doing this, I was doing that. So after a few months, I'm like, brother, what is it? Like, you always come around when it's to chill, to smoke, to drink, whatever the case is. But when I'm asking you to bring me up there, there's no, it's so you always go missing. You go ghost on me. So finally, he came with it. Like, he's like, yo, you know what? You should leave that. Don't. You should join this. I'm dealing with this more now. And I'm like, nah. At that point, when I started coming around, I started getting the lessons. That was one of the people that I was like, okay, this is why the lessons, you know, no matter if they came out in the 1930s, they're timeless, because you can always find them applicable in day-to-day situations. And to me, that was Musa. Today, modern day, that was Musa. That was a brother that came with an intent to civilize at one point, but then dealing, who knows, he said he lived in Cali for a while, maybe, you know, dealing in that cipher, that pulled him into that way of life. And then it replaced the eights, as Darkim just said, like it replaced the eights, you know, now that 8 went in front of his 5, and now he became a certain way, and it just overwhelmed him. And, you know,
see, you got that. There's 2 things that you gotta look at with that. You know what I'm saying? One is that, you know, especially when you deal with New York, and it's, you know, it's coming to be like that all over the world, all over the country. But it's like when you deal with New York, right? The 5% is just a part of New York history. So whatever people that you run into from New York, they're gonna have some experience with the 5%. You know what I'm saying? You know, the other thing is that, you know, and part of that is like you said, because a lot of 5%ers is you know, involved with the founding of a lot of other organizations in New York. The brothers that went into those other things, right? They knew about nation building, and they knew about certain elements of success. You see what I'm saying? Like when you read in the Wisdom Build degree, right? It's telling you about the science of success too. You see what I mean? Don't get caught up in what he was successful in. You see what I mean? But the sciences that he applied in terms of everybody doing what he told them to do regardless of what he told them, right? So that's about having certain discipline. You see what I mean? Like it could be school. The people who go to school and start getting involved with other agendas, right? Besides what they came there to do is not going to be as successful as the people who come there and do everything that's required to be successful there. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of the people, they realize that, yo, it was something about the lessons that caused us to rise to the top. You see what I'm saying? So whatever they did, they was like, yo, we gotta have these lessons too. That's what I just knowledge from a person that was in before a lot of other things happened. I don't remember that being an element of things from way back. But once you crossed into like the 90s, everybody got lessons if they came out of New York. You see what I'm saying? The same, they got the mathematics, the alphabet. You know, when you hear them, you know, I hear people talk, you know, they you know, I heard a brother say, you know, understanding is to see things for what they really are, not just what they appear to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it could be, but I don't recall people speaking like that just normally. You see what I'm saying? Even to be defining what things are, you know what I mean, to that nature. You know what I mean? Now, look, any people that speak now, right, they say they building. That wasn't the common way that people were speaking. You know, yeah, in 84, 85, 86, you know what I'm saying? The last years that I was at 85%, I don't recall people speaking like that. You see what I'm saying? It's been a long time. Like I said, you know, maybe I missed it because I came in at such a young age, but the way I recall it, the people used to sit, just like y'all watching me right now, didn't know what we was talking about. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that's something that, there's some things, right, that, you know, we kind of, you know, we a little frustrated about, but you gotta realize that that's a product of our success. You understand what I mean? They see all these people who are trying to imitate us and, you know, do things. That's a product of our success.
Wearing the flag in our name.
Right. But see, you gotta realize that, look, that's where Kobe Bryant came from. He's imitating Michael Jordan. He used to see the tapes and then go practice the moves on his own. He never knew Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Until he actually got to the pros, but by then, he already had the moves. You see what I'm saying? But, so it's the same thing with different people you see out there. All of them is not, some of them is deliberately trying to use our science as a shield. You know what I mean? To use us as magnetic because they don't have the amount of magnetic that it takes to draw up the people they want to draw up, right? But here's the thing. Peace, black man. You know, but you got another level of it, right? That imitation is the sincerest form of flattery too. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of these people, and then, you know, a lot of these other things, right? That's what it's gonna be. Being like, look, there's some dudes, right? He might be a gangbanger, right? You might don't get him to get the knowledge of self, but you might get him to a level where he stops shooting up the neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what he's gonna know. And look, when they actually say, yo, man, why you change like that? Because I was building with the guy. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, the guy showed me certain things. I was like, word, these people ain't the ops, man. I need to get the ops over there. That's it for some people. See what I mean? So for those people, yeah, whatever level of education that is, that's going to take them to that level. If it's another nation, if it's another, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know, that's what they got to deal with. Let's catch back up with the people in here, because sometimes they have some good questions. We had Queen Zia said she's coming to New York. Okay. Snow Goods said he just left the gym training with Coach Japreem Magnetic. You talking about my Japreem from DC? God Cyber Divine, Born King, peace to the God. Knowledge Born, Debar, Urban Gorillas, peace. Sincere Born Asiatic, peace to the God.
Where you from, bro? From Brownsville?
No, from Sunset. Sunset. Yeah. Between there and Flatbush.
I know.
How about yourself?
I'm from here, from Piedmont.
Okay.
I thought you was close over there. I used to New York or Brownsville out of school.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side.
Okay.
Now it's Born, he hit on another thing. That's another thing that happened. You know, Cypher, right, has become a hip hop thing now. Yeah. See, that's lit. And that's another thing where I would tell people about using slang. You see what I mean? That's how that happens, where we just referring to Cypher as anytime people are standing around talking. You understand what I mean? And then it diminish the actual meaning of what it is. You see what I mean? Of what people think their behavior should be when they in the cipher. You see what I'm saying? What's your name, black man? Yeah, you this one.
Equality.
Your name is Equality?
It's my born name.
Why is you, peace? That's your honorable name?
That's my honorable name that I'm working up to.
Wait. You working up to your honorable name?
I'm working up to it.
You gotta expand on that. I don't understand.
Building every day, every positive way that's possible.
Alright, this is what I'm saying. On your birth certificate, your name is Equality.
Yeah, my born name is Maliki Taib. I'm Master A, Allah, Love, I, King, hyphenation, Truth, Allah, Love, I, Born.
So you was born in Islam. How you get a name Malik Talib?
wasn't my father that gave me the name.
Well, look, here's the thing. You know how we say this is knowledge of self that we deal with, right?
Right.
See, I want the knowledge of self. I want the knowledge of everybody coming around me too. So that's why I'm asking you who you are. Now, so far, you telling me things that's confusing. Hey, see, look, my honorable name is Omar. That's my honorable name. That's on my birth certificate. I didn't have to work up to that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? My righteous name is Darkim be AllahChrist.
Righteous name.
Yeah, that's my righteous name. And when you say your born name, you know, I'm wondering, do you mean the name that you were birthed with? Like your honorable name that your parents gave you out of love for you to carry honorably.
I mean, born mentally God twice.
You born mentally God twice.
Meaning, the first time I was blind, deaf, and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have knowledge of self as building positively to keep my sword sharp. If that don't make any sense.
See, see, mental always comes before physical. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You was born, you know, you was birthed physically.
Right.
But the idea first, like look, just the idea of attraction between your parents, right, had to exist before you was birthed physically. And see, when you come into this knowledge, right, you born because you complete the cipher of mental and physical. See, when you born and you are 85%, right, and they make you what? Blind, deaf, and dumb when you a baby, right? They separated the knowledge from the wisdom, right? And they destroyed the knowledge, so now you putting the wisdom before the knowledge. That's why the 17 million don't know who they are. You understand what I'm saying? So when you come into this knowledge, we do what? We give you the knowledge and put it back in perspective, or show you how to put it back in perspective.
Okay.
And that's why we made complete, because now from that idea, right, we've come back full circle to who we are and who we always was. But you can't be brought into existence mentally when you saying that the mind has always been here. Like, see, when you do you know any lessons?
Yes, sir.
You know the 9th degree and the 1 to 10?
I know the 1 to 10.
Do you know the 9th degree and the 1 to 10?
The 9th degree and the 1 to 10, yes.
And what's the 9th degree and the 1 to 10?
I saw Lord Master have no birth, I have no beginning, no ending, only the sun and the star.
Well, that's not the degree, but that's piece what you said. Now look, so if you have no birth record, right?
Right.
Right, then how can you be brought into existence?
How can I be brought into existence? I'm thinking on that.
You understand what I'm saying? See, when you come here, right, I can't give you the mind.
Right.
I can only give you the tools to develop your mind. You understand what I'm saying?
You don't give me the tools to develop my mind. What are the tools?
Well, to start out with is supreme mathematics.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The next key is how to use supreme mathematics. See, once you know what supreme mathematics is, and you know how to use it to break things down. So see, what that means is when you walk into a situation, right? Can you identify what the knowledge is? Can you identify what the wisdom is? You understand what I mean? Like if you walk into a situation, whatever's going, can you tell who the leader is here?
Yes.
Can you tell who, like the brother is saying, can you tell who the Musa is in this situation? Can you tell, okay, the leader of these people, is this person Allah or is this person Yaqub? See, that's when you start to learn how to use the supreme mathematics. You see what I mean? So then, like I said, you can draw the lessons out of the experience of these people that existed hundreds or thousands of years ago in events that occurred that you wasn't there. That's what makes it a lesson as opposed to a fact. Like, see, if I say that right there, that's a chair. That's a fact. But you can't really, how you gonna use that when you go out there? As opposed to what I'm telling you about how to identify who's the Yaqub, who's the Musa, who's the Allah, what's the foundation, right? What's being drawn up, what's distilling back. This is something that you could go out and apply everywhere, whether you playing, whether you working, whether you doing whatever. You see what I'm saying? So, just to let you know, right? What led me to understand that you needed a little help, right? Is that you said your name was Equality. So, I'm gonna ask you, why did you pick a name? Why did you pick Equality for your name?
Cause is Father Clarence 13X. So it's
All right, now let's stop.
Yeah.
Let's stop. Right? Now you said your name is Equality. How'd you get a name like that?
I did the math.
Okay, so how come your name is Equality because you did the math, but the person who gave us the math, his name is Clarence? How is that possible?
Tell me.
And the reason why you don't know is because it's not possible.
How's it not possible?
Because the person who gave us this knowledge, his name is Allah.
Right.
And the only people that I know that refer to him as Clarence 13X are Muslims.
Muslims?
Yeah.
Nation of Islam.
You see, because that's not the name his parents called him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they never knew him by that name. They knew him by the name that they gave him honorably, right?
Right.
So this is what I'm telling you. None of us ever knew Clarence 13X. By the time he met us, he said his name was Allah.
Oh, okay.
And see, and in the same way it would be disrespect, right? For somebody to call you by the name that you had when you was at 85%, why would you call the person who's the founder of all of this by the name he had when he was at 85%?
I already know.
Because of course you don't know, because there's no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply not right. So that's one thing. But look, how long you been coming around here?
For years.
For years. How many years? 10 years?
I'm saying like this is my second time coming here, but this is my first time stepping foot in this teaching.
All right. Well, yeah, you gotta learn from somewhere. But that's.
I already learned.
Huh?
I already learned. Like I know my complete 120. It's just I need brushing up on it.
What you mean by you know it?
I know the student Roman, I know the Supreme Mathematics, I know the Supreme Alphabet. I'll stop right there. I know the student, I know the lost and found Muslim lesson number 1. I know the lost and found Muslim lesson number 2.
All right, so what's today's degree? What's today's degree in the 1 and 14?
Today's degree in the 1 to 14.
Yeah.
Today's degree in the 1 to 14 is wisdom. This is why did Musa have a hard time surviving the devil? 2000 BC, am I right or wrong?
In the year 2000 BC.
In the year 2000
Right.
BC. Because he was a savage. Savage is a person who has lost knowledge of himself and who was living a peace life. Musa was a half original man, born 2000 BC means before Christ in the AG.
Musa was a half original man in the year 2000. BC means before Christ.
BC means before Christ. In the Asiatic world, it was in the 11,000 hour.
It was in the year
In the year
11,000.
Yeah, see? So,
Now look, in this nation, right? Everything is subject to being shown and proven.
that's right.
You see what I'm saying? So when
I
you
agree.
say you know something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be able to show and prove that.
But not showing improvement of a savage, though, right?
No. I ain't getting into that yet.
Okay.
What I mean by that is that when you say you know a certain degree, right? In order to be able to show and prove it, you gotta be able to quote it.
Okay, in order to show and prove it, you gotta
Yeah.
be able to quote it first.
In order to show and prove that you know it, you have to be able to quote it. Like if a person asks you right now, right? Are you over 21?
Okay.
Right? In order to be able to prove that, you gotta be able to produce ID that says you over 21.
Right, that makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by the same token, if you say you know a certain degree, you gotta be able to produce that degree, right?
Like, boom.
Physically, so that other people can detect it.
Yeah, like, boom.
Yeah, because see, you know, what is intelligence, right? If it's not manifested. Because see, intelligence not manifested can end up being stupidity. If you know the answer and you just sit there like a log, that was dumb. You know what I'm saying? If you get
You said you know the Muslim lesson number 2. Talking to you, black man.
Oh, yes.
You know the lesson number 2, 140. You know today's math in 140. Can you tell me today's mathematics in 140?
Today's math in the 140.
The wisdom cipher degree in the 140.
Yeah, wisdom cipher. No, I don't know it down. I don't know it down like that. I gotta keep studying. I gotta brush up so I come Monday. I came last Monday, 6 to 8, so I'm coming 6 to 8, keep brushing up on my study. So all I know is that say it's February 20th, you know what I'm saying? Like February 20th, 1934 when the Muslim lesson, lost and found Muslim lesson number 2.
Because you said you know the Muslim lesson number 2, so that's why I asked you. So today's degree in the 1 of 40 is what's the prescribed law of Islam to that person of that said ability that the civilized is held responsible for the uncivilized and must be punished by the nation of Islam, God.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So how you see that?
How I see that. I see that as what it is. Exactly what it says. So I already so-called. Yeah, I see that exactly what it is.
You can expand a little bit on it?
No, because I gotta brush up on it. You gotta expand on that.
How you started coming around us? Who introduced you to?
Yeah, I was born into the way of life. I was born into it.
Who's your parents?
My father, I never talked to him, so I basically already knew who I was as a man. I just picked up to it as I went along through my journey in life.
No. See,
Like how you get in contact
yeah.
with the nation? Like how you got introduced?
Well, you mean the nation as a nation of Islam and
No, into the mathematics.
because I was born like that.
Like
I was born like that. That's what I mean. Like I gotta renew my studies.
when
so
people
I can come correct.
usually when people say they're born into it, like is their parents that was part of that was a 5% or that is a 5% and taught their child in that sense. So when you say you're born into it, how does that?
Cause my stepfather, and I don't even know what happened. I don't even know if my father from way back before, you know.
So you're saying your stepfather introduced you into this?
Nah, his like for instance, the way I see it,
Mm-hmm.
which makes no sense. You gotta bear with me. It makes no sense because like my stepfather, which was my mother's husband, had knowledge of self. You know what I mean? And it was just straight. It was. This is the like okay. This is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know it was different back in the day. It was just a way of life to adapt to out in, you know, 5 boroughs or whatever the case may be. So I just know that with her being taught, you know, just the simple science of survival, you know. And he after that, you know how you turn Muslim after that, he turned Muslim or whatever. So me, I started from Christianity and this, and doing the Muslim thing. I was just studying the Muslim, you know. And now, this is where it ends, you know what I mean? This is not, this is where the beginning, like, we have no beginning or ending, like, this is where it all.
Alright, cool. So that's how you got intrigued by it.
And that was my father, he real, you know.
Okay.
It's like, I can't
See, I'm gonna tell you it's a good thing. Is that however you got exposed to the knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good thing about ever having had the knowledge. Is that you know how they get back to the foundation because you've been there before.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Got it.
But look, you gotta clear up your mind.
How so?
You gotta watch the substances that you're dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? Because these substances, they affect how your cells react with each other in your brain. You understand what I'm saying? When you uncloud your mind, then you're gonna be able to grasp the science much easier. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
You just
You got it.
Alright.
So but you came to the right place. You know what I'm saying? Look,
I know that.
I can see that the knowledge is in there.
Another day.
I just feel like history keep repeating itself,
Yeah.
dog.
The knowledge is in there.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you allow it to get jumbled up inside your brain, then you're not gonna be able to use it.
So I gotta keep saying the same thing every day?
No.
Well, yeah, for you because
I
you
mean, like, it gotta be
just.
just one word, that's it, right?
I said no.
Just
I
one
ain't
word, like I
just-
can talk all this extra celestial stuff and just use one word a day, right? Every day, just the same word, right?
No, I wouldn't say that. Because in every situation that you deal with, like, see, look,
Yeah, we
this
say-
is my first time
But,
being in this class. I'm really a substitute teacher in here, right?
yeah.
Now look, See, I came in here, I built with him the first time. I know this brother a little bit, but this is the first time we built like this. See, what I had to build with them on is not what I had to build with you on.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
So-
What he need for help is not what you need for help.
So, self-savior.
Self-say, yeah. Like I said, yeah. I give you the tools, you gotta save yourself. But
man.
see, in order for me to do that, I
ain't worried about it.
gotta tell you the truth.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
I don't-
one level of the truth. You gotta uncloud your mind.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, so check this, right? When do the young youth come here? Like what age? Like just to start out. Like you know what I'm saying? Say like my son, and future, because education is past versus future.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do I bring him here? At what age?
Well,
Say
yeah, I
something.
mean, I brought my children from the hospital.
Straight here. Like just to
Well, to
Hear
the
something.
rally specifically, but yeah, here.
So all I gotta do is just brush up on my on my 1 and 20 every day.
Yeah, but see, that's gonna give you
Yeah, I know.
a general knowledge
10 to big.
of the black man. But see, you in particular, right? See, this knowledge is for the youth to be successful.
That's a big fact.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
So, right now, you coming here, I'm telling you what you gotta do for you to be successful.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
right.
And right now, one of those things you gotta do is stop escaping reality with substances.
So yeah,
Because-
so save cipher. At the same time, that's exactly what that needs to be done. Not to do none of that.
Yeah. Starts with discipline. You understand what I'm saying? That's one of the things that you learn. Like, look, you know, being that you was born in this, maybe you never went through that science, but, you know, whatever you doing, you gotta fast from that. The same way we fast 3 days, but see, you probably gotta fast more than 3 days. You might have to go on a lifetime fast.
Lifetime fast.
A lifetime fast from whatever you're dealing with.
So that means I have to be reborn again.
I mean, in a
I
certain
know,
sense,
I know when though.
you
Yeah.
know, because you got to be born in again in the sense that you complete, you finish with whatever you dealing with
That's why my alias is that.
that's holding you back.
Yeah, alias. I meant to put that in there. I guess that's gonna be my lead.
But look, don't come over here with no alias. We just want to know who you are. We just